Well, I want to talk to you about how to get Net-30 accounts for a new business and how to do it fast because it's not about just doing it over a year or two, but I want to talk to you about how to do it fast with no fee, no personal guarantee, and you want trade lines that report to Dun& Bradstreet and other credit bureaus. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Street Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about how to get Net-30 accounts for a new business fast with no fees, no personal guarantee, and you want trade lines that report to the major credit bureaus. It's very important to understand that business credit is basically the lifeline of your company. All right, if you have a startup, you want to have business credit because at some point you need that. If you want to finance your business, you want to buy inventory, you want to expand the business, it is very important. And similar to personal credit, you actually build this business credit over time, right? And this is how you can borrow from banks, you can borrow from alternative lenders, you can actually enter into transactions with major vendors. How does it really work? Basically, when you buy from vendors, from suppliers, they report your transactional data to credit bureaus. And the major credit bureaus are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Small Business. Beside those three biggies, you also have other, what I call, alternative business credit bureaus that they also play a pivotal role in today's economy. So you have FICO, Small Business Scoring Service, SBSS. You have the NACM, the National Association of Credit Management, and then you also have Credit Safe. Now, Credit Safe is not really a major credit bureau. They have a database of over I would say 200 to 250 million businesses globally. Okay, so this is not just a U.S. thing; it's a global thing. One thing you want to pay attention to is that when you actually choose a Net-30 vendor, make sure and ask them, make sure they report to the credit bureaus, because the last thing you want is having a vendor that extends credits to you but does not report your transactional data to the bureau, because then it's not helping you in the long run. So to qualify for a Net-30 account, your business must operate in the United States, have a tax ID, an EIN number, and a DUNS number, be established for at least 30 days, and must not have any derogatory business reporting or delinquencies, and make sure that you also need to be an authorized officer of the organization. So that was an overview. That was the foundational analysis I wanted to have with you before getting to the actual step-by-step. Here's the actual step-by-step. The first thing you need to do if you want to get a Net-30 account, one or two or three Net-30 accounts real fast for a new business, you need to organize your business. You need to get organized. Very important. A lot of folks have businesses, quote unquote, businesses, what they call businesses, but it's only business. It's only a business on paper. No, you need to do things the legit way. Get an EIN, a tax identification number. You want to contact the IRS. You want to go online, and it takes 5 minutes, folks. 5 minutes. After that, you want to incorporate. Okay, don't be a sole proprietorship. If you are a sole proprietorship, you are going to limit your chances of getting a Net-30 account. You might get one or two, but those will be the small ones, the teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini vendors. You want the big ones. You want the major vendors. That way, your credit line will be high. So you want to incorporate. You want to be either an LLC, an S corporation, or a C corporation, but don't be a sole proprietorship. Once you get that, once you incorporate and have an EIN, you have to open bank accounts, business bank accounts. If you're lucky, you can also get a business credit cards. For example, we have the Brex. It's kind of cool when it comes to and the Stripe, the PayPal. Those are I would say business credit card providers for startups. And also make sure you have permits and licenses. Very important. Okay. And part of the organization you need to have for your business is has to do with taxes also. So make sure that you actually file your taxes. Every quarter you have to file employer taxes. Make sure you are actually on top of that. Very important. You want to take care of your state and county tax authorities also. So you want to file your taxes at the local level every quarter or every 6 months, whatever the regulations are in the county or a place where you live. It's very important to establish a pattern of legit business, what I call a pattern of operational efficiency. That way, you are running your business as a real business, and when you start talking to vendors, they will be more than happy to grant you the net 30, net 40, net 45, net 60 credit that you want. Step number 2, folks. So after organizing your business, number 2, you want to identify the top 5 products and services. It's important. Why? You need to know the products that you use or you're going to use more often, depending on the startup that you have, depending on the in the sector that you are using different products and services. This is kind of important because the last thing you want is just to waste your time buying small stuff, small items from multiple vendors. What we want to do here is we want to aggregate. We want to consolidate all the purchases and buy from one main vendor or two. All right, that way you can concentrate your strength, you can concentrate your energy on that vendor, and it becomes a win-win situation because they see the business opportunity too, right? If you bring in $10 worth of business to a business versus you bringing $1,000 worth of business, they're going to the second vendor is going to look at you differently, right? That's just pure logic, okay? So you have to think about what kind of products you really need in your business. Everything from office supplies to cleaning supplies. It really depends on your business. It really depends on your customers, right? If you have a barbershop versus an accounting consultant service, you're not going to need the same supplies, right? So it's the kind of analysis you have to do personally or with your staff. And you have to think about, do you need services? Regardless of the sector you're in, you might need services. For example, if you are a barbershop or you are a car repair shop, you might need some marketing services. You might need some business development services. You might need some SEO if you want to be found online, right? By the way, SEO stands for search engine optimization, okay? So you got to think about the products you need and the services you need, and you want to rank them. So you want to have the top 5. That way you know where your energy is focused on, right? So if we use the Pareto, there's something called the Pareto principle in business. So you have that says that 80% of your business will come from 20% or 20% of your customers. The same may apply in this case. Maybe 20% of your 80% of your products and the supplies that you buy in the company. Okay, you're gonna have to source those from only 2 or 3 vendors, 20% of your vendors. Okay, and try to find 1 or 2 suppliers to provide all those products and services that you need. Step number 3, folks. I want you to create an operating budget. This is kind of important. What is an operating budget? Okay, I'm not going to go too much in details, and I don't want you to think this is an accounting course, advanced accounting course. Operating budget, very simply, is just an accounting table where you list all the expenses that you want to make, that your business is going to incur in the quarter, in the month, in the week, in the year, in the half year. So you can do it very simply in Excel. And it's just about, if you remember earlier, I was talking to you about listing the products and services that you need, right? So once you have those top 5 products and services, you want to put them on a spreadsheet so you can start quantifying the cost. It's important to quantify things here because if you just have them, you just write them on a piece of paper, it's not going to trigger the kind of analysis that you need to do to make sure you get the net 30, net 45, or net 60 account. So you want to actually create an operating budget, and you need an operating budget because you can use it as a barometer of performance. You can use it as a barometer for, I would say, efficiency. Are you running your business properly? Are things going on properly? In terms of office supplies or, cleaning supplies, for example, are you having waste? Are you wasting the supplies? So this kind of helps you. And the question also is that you need to show supplies expense versus total expense. In other words, you want to see whether or not your supplies expenses will constitute, let's say, 20% or 40% of your total expenses, right? So this kind of analysis helps you see exactly where your money is going, what kind of expenses you're going to have to incur for your startup. And you also want to do the same thing for services. So you do supplies expense versus total expense, and then you do services expense versus total expense. Again, the idea here is to have an idea, to have a clear picture of the kind of budget items that that really sucks, quote unquote, sucks your money. You also want to make sure when you do the budget that your numbers tie to your company's financial statements. And if you have no idea how to do a budget, you can hire a freelancer online on sites such as Fiverr or freelancer.com. You can hire a local business consultant, or you can use software. Step number 4, you want to prepare a business plan, right? It's important. I mean, an operating budget is, a business plan is I would say, a logical continuation to an operating budget. A business plan is very important because it allows you to explain your business model. It allows, and even if you don't need a Net-30 vendor, it's quintessential to have a business plan, especially for a startup, because it allows you to go back to your business and see whether or not you are on track or falling behind. Okay, and on a business plan, you can explain your business model, your needs for products and services, right? Then you can have a complete set of financial statements. You can have projected revenue for, say, 6, 12, and 18 months. I'll tell you why you need a business plan later on, but it's very important. You can also perform some growth forecasts. You can forecast growth for your business in a business plan. You can do this for the next 6, 12, or 18 months. And again, when it comes to creating a business plan, if you have no knack for business presentations or accounting or financial reporting, you can outsource the task. You can outsource it to a freelancer, a local business consultant. You can use software. We have a lot of software such as LivePlan, BasePlan, and Loop, among others. You have Business Sorter. We actually have reviewed a lot of business plan software on this show. And step number 5, you want to prepare a business pitch. Think of the pitch as a summarized version of the business plan. And on the pitch, what you want to do is you want to have maybe 1 or 2 pages, and the pitch has to be compelling. It has to be captivating. It has to be attractive. All right. And on the pitch, as the name implies, it's a pitch. In other words, you want to convince someone with the pitch. You got to make sure you highlight the win-win solution you are preparing for the vendor. Okay. The question I have for you is, what's in it for the vendor? When a vendor reads it, they have to ask themselves, what's in it for me? You want to summarize your company's selling points. You want to back up your data with facts. Very important. And at the end of the day, please make things look professional. Don't be stingy. Don't be greedy here. If you can't do it yourself, outsource. Again, outsource. You have software out there. You have consultants out there, and they're affordable. They're not going to break the bank. No, you're talking $20, $30 per hour on something that is going to be foundational for your company. So invest in it. Step number 6, folks. I want you to do something that's very important. I want you to reach out to local businesses. This is so important. Don't be a stranger. I don't care if you've been in the neighborhood for the last 30 years or 40 years. If you start a business, you want to make your presence known in the community. And it's important because we're talking about getting new 30 accounts for a new business fast, right? Before you go look online, reach out to local businesses. They could be your next Net-30 vendors or Net-45 or Net-60. Folks are more likely to extend credit to you if they know you personally. Think of it as what I've spoken earlier, not today, but on other shows, about the dynamic, the relationship between a credit union and a business. Because they know you, things happen at the personal level. It's not about algorithms taking care of stuff and just looking at data and just looking at everything as numbers. No, you have the human element part of it. So You want to register with the local chamber of commerce, for example. You want to participate in as many professional networking events and industry gatherings as possible, right? You also want to look into Yellow Pages and Google Local. So the idea, the intention here is to find businesses whose products and services are complementary to your own company's products and services. That way you don't have to fight that much. Remember what I told you earlier, it's all about finding a win-win solution, right? This is that way you don't have to worry about convincing someone to extend credit to you. If let's say you are selling something that another business needs, right? Let's say you're selling something that another business needs, right? And they're selling something that your business needs. Think about the complementary relationship here. This is the kind of fusion. This is the kind of a symbiosis that I want you to think about. All right. And once you have that, once you're able to have that, you should be fine because you can, if you establish their relationship, they can extend to you. I mean, they might not do the Net-30 or Net-45 at first. They could start with Net-15, and then you take it from there, right? Once once you have the trust, once you have the relationship established, things can move really fast. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I am still talking to you about how to get Net-30 accounts for a new business fast with no fees, no personal guarantee. So I've given you a few steps so far. It's how to organize. I told you to organize your business, identify the top 5 products and services, create an operating budget, prepare a business plan, prepare a business pitch, reach out to local businesses. Now I want you to search for national Net-30 vendors. So after looking for local businesses, look for the national businesses that extend the Net-30 credit. So we actually have covered this topic on another show, so I'm going to be very, very fast here. We found the top 10, in our view, the top 10 Net-30 vendors for new businesses, and those vendors are fantastic. So we have Granger. Our score for that one was 10 over 10. And then we had, so Granger reports, they all reports to DNB, Experian, Equifax, and other credit bureaus, but the top three for us are important. So Granger, is 10 over 10, our score. There's no annual fee. And Granger, they do a lot of stuff, industrial and safety products. We have Uline, 10 over 10, also no annual fee. We have Crown Office Supplies, 9.5 over 10. But the thing with Crown is that they actually charge a fee, and that is $99 per year. But again, it is worth it. And then we have HD Supply, 9.5 over 10. There's no annual fee. We have Office Depot, Office Max, that everybody knows. And we have scored that company 9 over 10. There is no annual fee. And then we have Summa, Office Supply, Summa or Summa, Office Supplies. And our score for that company is 9 over 10. There is no annual fee. And then we have Wise Business Plans. They help you write a lot of business planning and other business presentations. 8.5 over 10. There is an annual fee of $99 that you have to pay to Wise Business Plans. And then we have Shirtsy. Our score for that one is 8.5 over 10. And there is an annual fee of $99, but a pretty good company also. And then we also have Strategic Network Solutions. Our score was 8 over 10. There's no annual fee. And then we have Quill. Our score was 8 over 10, and there is no annual fee. So you have it. Those are 10 reputable, 10 legit businesses that can extend a large credit limit to you. Step number 8, folks. Once you have identified whom you want to work with at the local level and at the national level, it's about time you start doing some real business, right? It's really, so what you want to do is you want to start buying from vendors. And we recommend, based on our research, that it is efficient, it is cost effective to limit the number of vendors you work with to 2 or 3. Okay, so if you take the biggies that I just spoke to you about, like Granger or HD Supplies or Quill, they have a massive constellation of inventory, massive constellation of products that you would need. Okay. And so the idea here is that, of course, I'm using a tautology here, massive and constellation, but what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to show you the scope and size of the kind of catalogs those national suppliers are carried. It's amazing. So you don't need to have 3, 4, 5 vendors. You can only stick with one. So once you find 2 or 3 vendors, you want to buy small quantities. Okay, you want to start a little with, let's say, $50 here and there, $75, depending on your budget and depending on your needs, your operating needs, and always pay. You want to always pay on time. Very important. You want to always pay on time, and you want to be consistent. That way you build credit. You build a pattern of buying and paying. And this is the kind of stuff you need, right? And you want to increase quantities over a 60-day span. So you can start, let's say you start January 1st, and you just, do things until February 28th or 29th. That way you have 2 full months of buying and paying patterns that you're going to need when you want to, negotiate a Net-30 account with them. Then you want to visit the vendor's nearest store if possible. You want people to see you, and you want to let them know about your business. Again, going back to what I said earlier, you can't be a stranger in your community or in other communities if you want to establish a Net-30 account, or you just want to expand your business. So you want to go to a store. Some of this Net-30 vendors don't have many brick and mortar locations. For example, if you take Uline, right, they don't have that many. Or if you take Quill, it's different. However, it's still good that if you are able to go to a local store, go there. Step number 9, you want to cultivate a relationship, right? So you want to, once you let them know about your business, you want to talk to your account manager often. You want to let him or her know about your objectives, especially everything that you have written down in the business plan. You want to constantly highlight that, right? You want to inquire about credit options. You want to visit stores if possible. Visit as many stores as possible, because the whole idea is for them to know about you. Think about politicians. Think about politicians when they want to get reelected or elected. Think about the campaign. They are everywhere. And once the election happens, whether they win or lose, what happens? They just go back to where they came from, right? Into oblivion. At least some of them. I'm not saying that you want to adapt a similar strategy here in terms of, once you get the credit, you just disappear and don't pay the vendor. No. What I'm trying to say here is that you want to be there. You want folks to know you. You want folks to understand your business model, to understand your business, to understand you as a leader, as a business leader, so that you can actually know more about what's going on. And you want to when you talk to your account manager, you want to make sure that you seek net 60 days first. Okay, don't go to Net-30. You might not get it. If you are a startup with no credit, you want to go to Net-60 first. And then if they don't approve the Net-60, then you go to Net-45. And then if they don't approve Net-45, then they'll go to Net-60. You might be lucky. They could approve your Net-60 the first time around. That's just wonderful, right? Imagine if they give you a 2 months worth of credit. That's wonderful, especially from a liquidity perspective for a startup. We all know how complicated things could be from a liquidity perspective for a startup. So you want to ask first Net-60, Net-45, and finally Net-30. Step number 10, last but not the least. This is where now you apply for a Net-30 account. You want to deliver your pitch. You want to send the vendor your business plan, your business pitch, your financial statements, and operating budget, everything you have created before. It's very important that you emphasize the win-win aspect of the transaction. In other words, you are telling the vendor what is in it for him or her, right? You want to speak about projected purchases from the vendor. You want to speak in terms of volume, frequency, use quantities, quantify things. Don't just speak just to speak. You want to quantify things and seek discounts on bulk orders. All right. And you can deliver the pitch online, via Zoom. You can go to the store, you can go to their offices, whatever it is, you want to be able to have an opportunity to talk to them about your business at length. All right, folks, this was it for today's conversation. I want to quickly recap our talk here. So I was talking to you about how to get Net-30 accounts for a new business fast for for no fee and no personal guarantee, right? So first organize your business, then identify the top 5 products and services, create an operating budget, prepare a business plan, prepare a business pitch, reach out to local businesses, search for national Net-30 vendors, start buying from vendors, cultivate a relationship, apply for Net-30 accounts. Thank you so much for your attention. I will see you next time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.